Hello and welcome to another insightful, yet another informative episode of AAU Talks on AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa. As we always stay poised to bring you content that inform to transform. And I'm glad to still bring you another special one on the campus of the University of Sustainable Development. I'm glad to have great interviews, great content that are very, very inspiring. And this one is no different because we're looking at the life of an academic in and away from campus. You'll bear with me that the college system and the university system is a very great event in the life of every student because you go to these places not only for education but also to build up a new and transformational culture. However, the issue is you would have a choice to choose either you want to stay residential on campus to grow in this advantage or you want to do it from home. Well, the choices are diverse. However, the advantages also are unique to whatever stance you take. So today I have with me a special guest who's a senior lecturer here at the University of Environment and Sustainable Development to help us dig deep into this matter and see where lies your fate in terms of the best choice to either be residential or non-residential with regards to your academic progress. Stay with us right back after the break. You're welcome back to AAU Talks on AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa. And as we laid the premise earlier on, before we the break, that we're talking about the life of an academic in or away of campus. And you know, the advantages. But guess what? I wouldn't spill the beans. I have the experts here talking all about that. She is a senior lecturer right here at the University of Environment and Sustainable Development, and also in the field of gender studies. You're welcome, Dr. Jilly Phillipa Premkumar.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to AAU Talks. I'm glad to have you here.
My pleasure also.
Great. How does it feel that thus far working here in the very, very, I would say it's a young but vibrant and robust institution with a strong vision. How's it been like?
Yeah, I feel so much happy to be part of University of Environment and Sustainable Development. Of course, it's a new university and young university, and we are hoping for a big change among the students, and
Great.
We are working towards that.
Great. As an instrument of change and transformation for the students here on the campus, you are in a good position to tell regards to the academic life of the students and the preferences they choose in terms of being on campus or being off campus. But what would you want to say in terms of the two preferences? What is the ideal stance of each student who's embarking on an academic transformation agenda? Where would they want to be from? In your perspective, what is the ideal stance for these students if they want to progress really in academics?
Of course, university is a platform for every student to acquire the required skills, right? The professional skills that can make them grow academically. And this is the place where they can explore themselves more. So,
what is the best preference? Academic life at home. What are the features? What are the experiences that you would say characterize this sort of stance?
Okay, pursuing academic from home is, of course, most of the studies have proved that home life has a strong association for the academic performance of the students during this is especially among the childhood stage.
Okay.
Right, where they have the emotional support, financial support, and other sort of everything has been met in the family. So once the family space is good and happy, it influences the academic performance of the students at the childhood.
Okay.
But when they grow older, like when they mature or when they're going for the higher education especially, the home life and the academic life, you can see there is a less association, we can say, because the university is not always located near the home. They have to travel far from the home. So obviously the students have to move towards the city where the university is located. So they have to move, it is obvious. And it is more important for the students to also stay in the campus to have their academic experience. That is more good, where they can explore themselves more. They also grow independent. They obviously at the higher education level, it is more important for the students to spend more time on the campus than their home.
I appreciate the point you made, but the fact that when it comes to the life balance and the stages of life and how it influences academic progressions, either at home and at school. And at the early stages, it is good to be at home. That supports academic progression. But at the stages where you grow and get more matured, it is not so advisable to study from home. Is that a point?
It's not, we could not say that we can advise them not to stay at home. They can also learn from home. But what I'm trying to say is the facilities and the structures and other exposures that they can get is only from the place where they are studying, not at the home. Most of the times, home is you cannot get that exposure when you are studying from the home. So this is more important for the students' growth, especially. They have all the facilities at the campus. They can have all the resource materials from the library. They can have the Wi-Fi facilities, which enhance their learning process. So it is, I would suggest they can study from home. It is not only helping them to grow academically, it also helps them to grow personally.
Great.
Right? So they become independent, they decide on their own, they learn to behave with people, they meet people, they make more friends, and they have that skills. That is more important when you go for the future work.
There's another concern was what has environment got to do with academic progression anyway? Does it really matter where you find yourself and environmental wise, the elements in it and academic progression? Is there really a relationship at all?
Yeah, it matters a lot. A learning environment is more important to grow, right? So as I mentioned, some of the features that on the campus, it really helps the students. So environment matters a lot. Take for example, there are also issues in the families. Some students, we can't say everybody has that space for them at home, right? Most of the families are coming from the rural. They are in poverty. They cannot spend much for the books, right? For the resources. When you are moving forward, maybe the graduate and above, you need to spend more time with the research, right? Where you need to acquire those research skills, and library is the best place for them to read and take things. In some cases, like doing some research, scientific research, you need to be in the laboratories, right? So you need to do the experiment. I heard some students, they stayed in the lab, even in the night, continuing the research for day and night, stay in the laboratory to make progress in their research. So it is not all the time at home. Of course, from home you can learn, but there are some challenges we cannot.
I mean, you've really shared not cool sentiments about learning from home because of the unpredictable elements which pertain and may hamper a sound academic life in home or in the home, where you can now you share also good ones with being in the academic center because it is built for learning and it's quite influential for learning. However, today COVID-19 has opened up learning, not strictly being on campus, but now a blended sort of a type where you can be at home for some time and then cope with learning and be on campus as well. With your remarks about home learning being quite unpredictable and very, let me say, not so supportive for good learning, Why then would that supposed to mean that having the blended kind of learning means you're going to spend some time losing track of learning and then some time on campus trying to catch up what you've lost? Is that a point now?
Okay, COVID-19 has really disturbed a lot of systems. Of course, education system also disturbed in wider manner. This system, blended learning system, is nowadays is promoted among all the universities. Like it is a good system per se. So spending time in the university, acquiring some knowledge, spending time in the home. You can also, in home, you can spend time for the academic purpose, and you can also do your own work. You have more time and decide on what to do when. So it's more flexible. But when you think about the disadvantages of being at home and learning, we as a faculty members have experienced some issues, right? Being at home. Some students are serious in their academic work, and they spend more time in academically, discuss with their friends, try hard to move forward. But it's not the case of all the students. Some students, they don't spend time academically when they are at home. When you give assignments through the online mode, you know, some kind of issues have been arising, like the plagiarism. They just copy and paste and they are submitting it. How do they learn?
Yeah.
So these are some of the challenges are there. But again, I want to insist that if the student is determined to grow academically, they can choose what they want. But if the students, and also the Wi-Fi facility, other facilities is intact, then only they can progress. Say for example, when I talked about the rural families with poverty, you know, COVID has already pushed people from the work away, right? They increased the economic burden. We have not recovered completely. So they even some of these female students, when they went back after the pandemic, we can't say how many returned back to the school. You know, we fought for 25 years or something for the girls' education. We have promoted various programs to push girls to the school. But now, after the lockdown, how many return back to the school? It's a big question. Many have dropped out, many have gone back to their work to support the family because already in the economic burden. So these are some of the issues we need to understand. And it's good only for the students, those who have determined and have a smooth environment, learning environment, they can acquire this, but not for all the students.
So on behalf of the students, let me just ask Doc on this one. So Doc, tell us some of the psychological and emotional implications when one chooses to study from home and one chooses to study from the institution or right from the institution confines. Has it got any implication on that person's psychological framework and also emotions?
It's true. See, after finishing SHS, the students have to move to the university. At that time, they have this transition period. For so long, they stayed at the home. They had the emotional support. They are connected. They had the love. They had the care, right? So they were in the comfort zone there. They do whatever they want. So they are free from everything. But when you come to the campus, this transition, they undergo a lot of psychological changes and emotional, because they suddenly lack that support. Because they are far from the home, right? Then they feel like they are left alone, helpless, right? But there is an opportunity for them to make new friends, collaborate with them, but it takes time. So they will be in some kind of frustration where we can see some students have got homesick, right? So at that time, the university also have the role to play with making students comfortable. These kind of psychological issues students.
So, Doc, let's also look at uh, the advantage the institution has over the home in terms of the resources with academic programs, extra academic programs, co-curricular activities and extracurricular activities, and the facilities that the university or the institution may wield over home that makes it quite a competitive ground to excel academically than learning from home.
Yeah, as I discussed earlier, it has a wider opportunity in the institutions, especially in the higher education institution. As you mentioned, all the facilities are here. I can say it in three aspects. One is the academic aspect. Of course, they can acquire the skills, the needed skills for their courses they are undergoing. Then they can also have other skills as well through the extracurricular activities. They develop some kind of communication skill, how to communicate with the students, right? How to develop like public speaking skills, other soft skills, everything they learn here. This is on one part academically. Apart from academic, the other skills they learn, that is for their personal development, right? And the personal development is the second one, I could say. And the third one is the social development. You collaborate with others, you understand others, you have some empathy for others. When you stay in hostel, you care for each other and you have that collaborative kind of things. So three aspects: academic needs are met in the campus, the personal needs, the personal development they acquire here, and the social development as well.
Great. So we're still discussing the life of an academic in and away from home, and I'm here with Dr. Phillipa Joel Premkumar. Forgive me on that one. Okay, so you're watching us on AAU Talks. We're discussing the life of an academic in and away from home with Dr. Phillipa, and we're looking deep into it with the advantages that one seeks to gain studying in the university campus, and then the other way around back at home. So stay with us as we get more insights from her after the short break. Be right back. You're welcome back to AAU Talks on AAU TV. We're having a very, very wonderful discussion here with Dr. Phillipa, who is a senior lecturer here at the University of Environment and Sustainable Development in the field of gender studies. And we're looking at the life of an academic in and away from home. So, I mean, you were students out there who's looking forward to enroll yourself in an institution, and you're thinking, why should I be residential or should I be from home? But you know, you can do both though, but there are some advantages. We're yet to find out now. So Doc, let's look at, humanly, I got a chance to learn on campus because of proximity. I was living far from where the university invited me and admitted me. I had to leave, but I couldn't have managed to learn from where I was, so I had to move. But we have others who, looking at proximity, they would want to stay home and then do the in and out regularly. Are these people missing anything in that category?
Of course, there is a difference when you are resident in a campus and you are learning. You have more time to spend or focus on the academic purpose. But when you are staying at home, coming and going, most of the time you spend for traveling and you get tired when you go home. You cannot sit and contribute more in your academic progress. So time is one factor, I would say. Then as we already discussed, a lot of facilities at campus you can use, resources are there. Students can use it productively, right? Then at home, sometimes you may not get that one. And especially with, being a gender studies lecturer, I need to look at it from the perspective of gender,
Yeah.
right? For example, in India, being an Indian, most of the parents, they don't allow the female students to stay in the
On the campus.
university.
Why?
Most of them, like it's because of the fear of like the safety purpose, right? So most of the time they would like to allow them to stay with the relatives over near campus, or it's hard for them. But nowadays things have been changing. Even students, my niece are traveling away from home, like abroad, learning, coming back. Now things have been changing. But still, the female students per se, they face a lot of issues when they are staying at home, right? Again, there is an expected gender stereotypes among the female children. They have to spend more time in the chores, activities, cleaning, cooking. For everything they have to do. But when they are staying at campus, they can do for themselves alone, not for all the purpose. That reduces the time and they can contribute more on that purpose.
Yeah.
So those kind of issues, it is more advantage in studying in university campus. It is more, it's a positive thing. But then with the staying in the family, okay, of course in the campus you need finance. Finance is more important. You need to spend for the rent, food, everything. But when you're going in the family, these costs may be reduced. So that is a disadvantage where the students have to work. They have to spend time on that aspect as well. So both has positives and negatives in itself.
Yeah, but ultimately is that you recommend that students, as much as possible, get a feel of the campus environment and what it has to offer, because it has a very prospective contribution towards academic progress. But some students are caught up in the trap of finance, trying to make it to campus and enjoy the facilities that the university has to offer. So the parents will have to just work from home each and every day against the cost of it. Do you think that these students have a way of maybe have remedies to ensure that they also enjoy the good things the university has to offer, studying on the university environment?
Yeah, financial constraints are there for every student when they are going for the higher education. So they can make use of all. There are scholarships available for the students, those who really work hard and get good grades. Many scholarships are available for them. They can make use of that. And of course, parents, they wanted to invest on students' education, so they can also support them. And there are also other means of ways they can make money. They can, of course, in Ghana, I can see students do work at the same time they study. So they can support them financially. They don't give a burden to the families. But in India, parents continue to support till they finish their education. That is how the culture is in India. But here it's different, I could see. But students, they can avail more scholarships and things like that. They can, to perceive, they can use of those opportunities.
Some other effects that we can say are not so favorable for the cause of studying on campus. You mentioned security and also exposure to some quite not friendly behaviors and attitudes that you may find yourself in. Let's talk about these ones. Even though university is a setting where we has a good or bad side, how about some of the attitudes that one may be exposed to that may not help academically?
Yeah. Again, it depends on the students, right? When they are living on campus, they try to make good friends and they learn to gain independence. So they have that decision making capacity now. They have to decide for their own doing things, like. So in that case, they have to be very cautious about whom we are connected, right? So in some of the incidents you can see, they might end up in bad behavior, getting into the drugs, alcohol, and other unwanted sex like that. No, so that type of things are disadvantage in the campus because there is no monitoring by parents directly. There is no monitoring. There is a lack of monitoring system. Maybe the university can look at it, how we can do well about it. Again, I can speak about the gender issue here, right? So female students, when they get into these kind of things, they will be in relationship, no? They get pregnant. So teenage pregnancy. So obviously they have to drop this school because of the physiological changes that is happening. They cannot continue their education. But whereas for the boy responsible, there is no barrier. He can continue the education. The victim is again the women, the girls. So these kind of issues has to be addressed within the campus. So some type of committees can be, of course, many of the universities have some committees to counseling centers for the students to help them to come out of that or not to indulge in that. No, yes, the university has a major role to play in that aspect as well.
And I think it's fair that we transition to the area of the role of the university in ensuring that there is a holistically, the university provides positivity to academic growth and not even a single peril that can deter students' assistance on campus for studies. Well, what are some of the things that universities can do to ensure that students grow in that positivity and that aura of growth without any negativity?
Yeah, as soon as they enter the university, we have to make sure that they are in the system, all right? Whether they are staying in the campus or they're staying in the nearby places, we need to be connected. We need to, especially the faculties are more closer with the students, where we can be a mentor for the students so that we can day by day we can counsel them if they have, we can attend to their issues so that they won't get into that stage as well. As an institution, we can also bring some policies, as I would say, like anti-sexual harassment committee. I don't know whether it's been in Ghana, but in India, every institution must have an anti-sexual harassment cell where these kind of issues have been dealt. So apart from that, we can offer them some career counseling programs, sensitization programs like this. Of course, we have started as in the University of Environment and Sustainable Development. We through the gender courses, we promote these kind of issues to address the gender issues. We create sensitivity among the students to treat the classmates equally and respectfully and to avoid such kind of issues. We start from the first semester itself. We gradually take them to the second semester. We also deal with some of the gender issues. And in the third year, they actually have a full course for them to deal with. So these kind of courses, it will certainly help students to not to involve in those activities.
No, let's look at one very important benefit that we students can also gain whilst learning on campus, which is the independence aspect. How do we find this at the wholesome view if they are done learning with their independence? What benefits, what was the impact on their contribution to the economic growth with independence on campus, staying away from home?
Of course, when the day they leave the home and reach the university, they have to manage on their own. There's no one at the back to guide you or support you on any decisions. They have to manage by their own. So they start learning how to do things, right? Even if they wanted to get up early in the morning, they have to do it by themselves. Whereas in the home, somebody will be waking you up to go for the campus. But here, he or she should manage themselves, right? The time management, they have to do that. Then even some of the activities they have to do on their own. If you feel hungry, you have to eat. So either you buy or you cook. So buying every day is also not possible due to the financial constraints.
Yeah.
Right? It is expensive. So you start to cook. So of course, here again the gender issues. The male students find difficult to cook if they are not trained at the home.
Yeah.
Female students, they can easily start cooking, cleaning, everything they can do because they have been already trained. So it is an opportunity for the male students to learn to cook, to keep the place clean and tidy, right? Washing their own clothes, everything. This is a process where it can lead to an independent, to be independent, right? And even some of the financial issues, they try to decide what to spend and what not to spend,
Yeah.
how to save the money. Small things they learn. And these kind of things, it leads to the independent process.
It's full of delight trying to assess the gains if you are students and you are looking for an option to where to study, whether being on campus or being at home. But in all of these situations, it is important that an academic setting of a learning is imbibed in you, at least have a feel of how it works like to study on campus because of the added benefits and advantages that you stand to gain if you study on campus. And Dr. Phillipa has made that clear. And also the growth pattern that you set yourself on if you study on the campus and not at home. Not meaning it's not right to study at home. Well, it's all good, but at least the priority should for you to also grow with the university and institution's culture, which also plays a key role on your independence and mindset growth. So thank you very much, Dr. Jilly Phillipa Premkumar, for your time with us on AAU Talks. As we discussed the life of an academic in and away campus. So in campus, will you also offer? Splendid. So it's a good choice to study on campus because of the benefits. Have a nice day. Be safe. Make the right choices. And bye.